Hello, my name is Elder Sterling, and welcome to our live stream review of Heretic. If someone gets the, I hope so. If anybody watches this video, I hope somebody gets that reference. I'm glad John does. Yeah, I wanted to grab my copy of the Satanic Bible, but I couldn't find it. So you're getting Stephen King. But anyway, hello and welcome to our live stream review of the newest horror movie by A24, Heretic. You know who we all are. You know the routine, and guess what time it is, kids? It's time for another Cinematic Sterling Wigger review! Because I was too tired to write one. Anyway, Heretic's a movie that I had on my radar ever since I first saw that trailer. And and I read the premise, like, oh, Hugh Grant's a religious jigsaw? Okay. It seems cool, and there were some damn good religious themed movies that came out this year. You know, I'm in the minority for these two, but I really liked the first Omen. I really liked Immaculate, and then we had Conclave, which was damn fucking good. So I may not be a religious person, but some of these religious themed movies we've had this year have impressed me, and I'd say Heretic falls under that category as well. First off, Hugh fucking Grant. I absolutely loved him in this movie as Mr. Reed. I thought he was genuinely fantastic. Not only did I find him to be very creepy, he's also really funny, and that's something I'll get into the movie later. But whenever he was on screen, I just had a huge smile on my face. I just loved watching him like talk about anything, whether he's talking about religion, whether he's talking about Monopoly, whether he's talking about Jar Jar Binks. Like, he's just so interesting to watch. And the two young Mormons we follow, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, they're both very likable characters. You care about them, you want them to get out okay. Of course, it doesn't work out. And I like how they're in a way they're like the complete opposites of each other, whereas where one is very like deep into, whereas where Sister Barnes, she has like a darker past, and she's a little skeptical about her faith, whereas Sister Paxton is definitely a lot more like into the faith. She loves it. It's her life. And I really also I enjoyed Topher Grace in his small part as the elder, looking for the girls. I thought all three, Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East, they all had great chemistry with each other. I really liked the dialogue. I thought it was very well written. I thought this movie was, apart from being creepy and disturbing in spots, I thought this movie was fucking hilarious. Like, holy shit, I was not expecting this movie to be this funny. And this is actually a compliment. Like, I'll be the first one to make fun of something, and for something being unintentionally funny. One of the reasons why Rob and I up here, we hate stuff like Men and Smile, was those movies were meant to be scary and they ended up being funny. Whereas this movie was a blend of, dark humor and psychological horror. I really, this movie is shot great. I loved the themes, of testing one's faith, and I thought that was very well executed. The ending I actually thought was genuinely shocking. Like I did honestly I didn't see that coming. Like the whole thing with the prophet. Like as soon as like that happened, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Oh that's weird. And then something like that comes around again. I'm like, ah, so that's what that means. If there was like any issues I had with this movie that prevents it from being like my favorite horror movie of the year, I thought the pacing was a little off in spots. I kind of wish Topher Grace had a bit of a bigger role as the elder looking for the sisters. Because at first I thought they were going to do something with him akin to Misery, where he ends up finding the girls and he fucking Mr. Reed just fucking shoots him like he did with like Annie Wilkes did with the sheriff in Misery. But he just disappears. Like, all right then. And I don't know. I thought it was. I was kind of like shocked and confused where when Sister Paxton she goes into that room downstairs, just finds all those women in the cages. Like, huh? Okay. Sure. I mean, this is kind of random, but all right, I'll go along with it. But overall, I thought Heretic was a great movie. Um, I highly recommend it. It is it's not my favorite horror movie of the year, but it is definitely one of the better ones of the year. And I'd say give it a watch. Because as Slipknot says, if you're 555, I'm 666. What's it like to be a heretic? Now we'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Alrighty, so my turn. Well, Devin, great minds think alike because mine is also going to be a wing review because I was too lazy to write a review. Anyway, Heretic. So I will say, I think we've all gone on record throughout these streams saying that A24 horror is always like A24 films are always going to be hit or miss. They've been hit or miss. So, and that especially comes with their horror films. But because sometimes you'll get like either the greatest movies of the year or you'll get the most pretentious pieces of crap ever seen. But thankfully, this one actually falls more on the former. So going in, I wasn't like the trailers did intrigue me, but after that, I kept thinking that, well, this could probably go either way. So I really wasn't sure what to expect. I went saw it today with my brother, and it was a really good movie. I'm not going to say it was perfect or anything. It certainly had its flaws, but you know what? It was still a damn good movie regardless. Hugh Grant, he is easily the best part of this movie. He is creepy as hell. So he is the religious nut job who pretty much takes it to a whole new level kind of thing. And he does a really great job. I mean, I'm kind of wondering if there's even any bad performance I've seen from Hugh Grant. Maybe there is. I just can't think of it. I don't know. But anyway, he does a great job. And I just like how he switches from talking about like religion and all. And then he goes into like random things like what Devin said. He talks about Monopoly. He talks about Jar Jar Binks, Radiohead, with a part where he was singing that, comparing what's that song that he was comparing Radiohead to? That was the Creeps song. I don't know. Anyway, he does a fantastic job. The actresses that played the two Minister Sisters. They do a really good job as well. It does have a really creepy atmosphere kind of thing, and I like its themes about challenging one's faith. And look, I'm not religious either. I'm not religious either. In fact, I consider myself more agnostic than anything. But I pretty much. But I will say that I do like the idea of how one of the sisters is unsure about her faith, kind of thing, while the other one is all on board with her faith, is absolutely sure, and it's more about challenging that faith. So, and I especially like how what the sister was able to find out that when the supposed the wife had died, it was all she was able to see through the trick, seeing like, yeah, this is not a miracle, so this is just a magic trick, or but that was really well done. If I had any now, if I had any problems with this movie, it would be, yes, the pacing was off. So I felt like some parts could have been, you could have trimmed down some parts, and also I felt like you probably could have. The only reason that Topher Grace was in this movie was just so that Hugh Grant can be distracted, and go straight to the door, away from the girls. And I felt like you probably could have found like a better. Because honestly, what's the point of having Topher Grace in your movie if you're only gonna have him in there for like a few minutes? He's just like, like what Devin said. I thought this was going to be one of those misery kind of moments where he just where Topher Grace finds the girls and he just shoots them. I get that would have been too much of a ripoff, I guess you could say. But I felt like you probably could have utilized them more instead of being like, oh, they're not here. All right, bye. You know. Other than that, I would say that I still had a good time watching this movie. It has problems, but if you're looking for something to watch this weekend, maybe it's something horror related. I'd say give this a watch. So, and with that, my score is a 8 out of 10.
All right. This is only a film that I've known about for the past few months. I think I saw a trailer for it during Deadpool and Wolverine as I think is the first I've heard about it. So it's been on my radar ever since. Like, I mean, hell, just having Hugh Grant in it alone, because I loved Wonka, so anything with Hugh Grant in it, give me more. And I like that he's getting serious roles like this, and he did very well in this. I liked how very creepy and unsettling he was as the movie went on. Like the whole opening, as it just starts to unravel, like, dude, I was getting goosebumps. But outside of the initial setup that we know we're gonna get from the trailer, I didn't see a single thing coming in this film. Everything from the twist reveals at the end with the theories about simulation. Is it all real? What really happened? What didn't? And how they're all questioning each other. I like that. I like the themes of this film, that it didn't attack any single religion. It just questioned, it was talking about just the concept of religion in general. I thought it was very smart to do that. Like, I'm not a religious guy myself. Well, not really. I'm actually quite conflicted on it, but I like the even ground that this film put itself on. So, and I like the ambiguity that it ended on, and at the end of the day, it's one of the better psychological horror films I've seen in a long time, and I'll go with an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, I just finished, so perfect timing. All right. So Heretic, Scott Beck and Brian Woods' theological saw. Kinda. Another A24 film is upon us. Hugh Grant finally reached a point in his career and was like, wait a minute. I can do real movies now instead of the mediocre rom-coms I've been doing for the past 30 fucking years. So now we have Hugh Grant in his villain phase. Yeah, I might not have liked Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, but Grant was not one of the reasons why. So without further ado, Heretic, boys and girls. There isn't much of a cast here, but of course I will still talk about what little cast there is. First and foremost, as I mentioned, Hugh Grant, of course. I thought he was excellent here. He perfectly rides the line of awkward dad energy, skin-crawling creep, and downright terrifying killer. I thought there were a lot of elements to juggle, and he did it fantastically. The little machinations and mannerisms and cadence throughout his performance when it comes to certain things in certain situations, it was impeccable. He was damn good. Brought a lot of gravitas and charisma to this character, and I don't think it would have worked as well with anybody else. Rising star Sophie Thatcher was very good as the sister who seems to be the more capable of the two, always being the main talker, questioning Mr. Reed and his theology, telling Paxton what to do, and so on and so forth. I thought she did a great job. However, I thought Chloe East was even better because you don't expect a lot from her, being the more subtle and experienced person who is clearly more stressed and fearful of the situation. But how she develops over the course of the movie into the proper final girl is very good. Is it predictable? Maybe. But East still did such a great job with it, with what she was given, and had good verbal sparring with Grant towards the end. But that's about it. Oh, wait, I forgot. Hi, Topher Grace. Bye, Topher Grace. I thought the cinematography was well done. I noticed a lot of very long, smooth shots that I really liked. It added to the atmosphere and tension, which was also great. It had such a great and creepy atmosphere and tension that I couldn't help but love it. I thought it was well paced, but maybe it could have shaved off a couple minutes. I didn't hate it or anything. And I also felt that the comedy, as Devin was saying, wasn't like bad or anything. It was effective in like sort of like a like you're like creeped out, you're laughing, but you're like still like kind of creeped out. So it's like, okay, well, I don't know what to feel in this situation, but you're like kind of laughing, kind of not. So it worked. But outside of that, on a technical scale, it was really good. Now we get to the story. What I really loved about this movie was the game of cat and mouse between Grant and the sisters. It's a slow build with everything going on. It's simple, but has some effective twists and turns. Grant played Machiavellian really well, and you think he owns the situation until the very end, where Paxton reveals she's smarter than she has shown throughout the movie, as he confused naivete for lack of intelligence, which was not the case. I thought the religious discussions were intriguing and had quite a bit of depth. It had a lot more layers as more and more information came out of the woodwork. You see Grant's character becoming more and more desperate for his arguments, but he still has a bit of control. And I loved how Paxton was definitely one-upping him by the end. I also didn't mind the weirdness towards the end either, like, the women in the basement, that kind of thing. What I really loved about this movie, though, was the fact that the ending revelation of religion being about control on the surface seems one-dimensional in one note. Because, yeah, no fucking shit. Everything in a cultural and societal context is always about control. I mean, George Carlin preached this shit for fucking years. But then you come to realize that that was the point all along. This movie was a satire of everything. It is all about the Bill Burr defense. Fuck everyone on both sides. This movie is all about making fun of the people that unanimously believe of an invisible man in the sky, but at the same time makes fun of the pompous asshole atheists and agnostics that act high and mighty because they don't believe in an invisible man in the sky. Grant's character is constantly acting like he's smarter than he really is, correcting her on the Spider-Man quote, acting like everything he says is the correct way of thinking, and tears down every religion to put himself up on a pedestal and his way of thinking. He spews pseudo-intellectual garbage because that's the point. He's an idiot. Just because he has control of the situation doesn't mean he's smart. Smarts and control are two very different things. Look at, every CEO in existence. Now, have there been better religious discussions in film and TV? Of course. Midnight Mass is a clear example of this, but just because there are better examples doesn't make this one bad. I think the religious discussions do have a lot of great ideas that prompt debates. Healthy debates, of course. Overall, I thought this was a great film. The cast was fantastic. The themes were great. The story was good. The tone was superb and effective, and I highly recommend it. It has some maybe a little bit of pacing issues here and there, but I didn't hate it and I didn't think they were that noticeable. Overall, I thought it was fantastic, and I give it a 9 out of 10.
And now it is time for the one, the only, our Lord and Savior. One more for me.
All right, my turn, kids. You know that one kid goes off to college, comes back, and suddenly thinks he's enlightened because he took an undergrad philosophy class? Yeah, that's this film. Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East play Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, respectively, two young Mormon missionaries who come to the house of one Mr. Reed, a middle-aged man played by Hugh Grant. Seemingly receptive to their religious talk at first, he soon forces the girls into a series of choices in a game of cat and mouse designed to test their faith. The movie opens well enough with a brief conversation between Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton to establish their characters. The duo instantly reminded me of the "My sister and I are polar opposites" meme. The one with one girl has really colorful rainbow-colored hair, really pretty smile on her face. The other one has glasses and a really stern look on her face, looking like a Wednesday Addams cosplay. The Sister Paxton is the more colorful one, with her brightly colored clothing, pink sweater, and cheerful attitude. While Sister Barnes dresses in all black and comes across a bit more cynical, if no less sincere in her faith. The clothing matches the attitude in this case. Pretty obvious. Sister Paxton, in fact, comes off as the more fragile of the two. She bemoans, at least at first, her failure to convert anyone and casts aspersion on the jokes pointed their way by the Broadway play by Trey Parker and Matt Stone of South Park fame. While Sister Barnes casually mentions converting only 8 or 9 people and says that retorts that some of the jokes in the play are actually funny. Sister Thatcher and Chloe East play their roles very well. And the star of the show, however, is Hugh Grant. He's chilling and creeping, and he throws himself into the role with abandon. He's clearly having fun in the role. It's a testament to his acting ability that he makes the pseudo-intellectual dialogue work. And this is where we get into my issues with the film. Hugh Grant's monologue in the middle is so well done that you scarcely notice until later that it's all lightweight undergrad first-year philosophy major bullshit. It's as one reviewer said, I too have been on the atheism subreddit. Actually spent a good deal of time with it. Actually, it's kind of insulting to atheists that this is actually considered an intelligent defense of atheism, but it's really not. But I don't know. But I detected none of the underlying sarcasm that John did. Maybe I'm missing something, but I didn't detect that at all. It seemed to be that, I don't know. But either way, and it all comes either way, it's all torn apart by Sister Thatcher's character, Sister Barnes, in less than 30 seconds, and well done, actually. So still, it's at least well acted on Hugh Grant's part. It's very well done. It's very creepy. And I could have accepted that if that was the only problem. That would have been much of a problem. I could have done that. He is the villain after all. But, however, sadly, it's not. It's not, because even though the film started off well enough at the beginning, became very gripping and tense in the middle, the wheels totally fell off for me in the third act. After they get into the basement, whatever you want to call it, it just loses steam really quick. Once the prophet comes out, it's like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? And it just becomes very, very weird, very strange. I kind of lost interest, honestly, and I kind of tuned out a bit. So it really just kind of falls apart in the third act for me. And then the ending at all, it just kind of falls flat, honestly, with the whole, this is all about control. Because that's just kind of bullshit, because religion's a lot more complicated than that. It's not just some conspiracy to control everybody. Like John said, yes, there are, yes, of course. There are societal mechanisms that are simply about control, of course, but it's still a little more complicated. It's not a fucking conspiracy. So, but anyway, it kind of fell flat for me, although I will say that not Sophie Thatcher, but Chloe East did very well. So, but I wasn't really sure how to feel about this at first. I wasn't really sure how I felt about this first. Wasn't sure if I liked it or not. But the more I think about it, the more I'm just kind of meh on it. So I think it started off well enough, became really good in the middle, and at the end of the day, the end is just where it all really fell apart for me. So, but that's it, man. My rating is a very appropriate 5 out of 10. One of my more popular ratings this year. I'm getting a lot of films 5 out of 10 for some reason this year.
No, wait, hold on.
I was going to say, so Mark is the host now?
Yes.
What the fuck happened to me being on the bottom? Huh? Why am I not on the top? Thank you.
And now I'm at the bottom.
All right. For now, at our appropriate placements, are we all satisfied?
Yes.
Good. Don't maybe play the Willy Wonka clip, because I'll do it. But
Somebody say something.
yes,
Google
Something.
it for you.
I will say that the soundtrack was fucking fantastic, and because of this, I have become fucking obsessed with "All I Need Is the Air That I Breathe" by the Hollies. Jesus Christ, that's a great song. I did not
That's
know
the one that was because I was thinking it was something with the Hollies, but I couldn't remember what it was. But yeah, thank you for reminding. Yeah,
I did not know that Radiohead had copied that. I honestly did not fucking know. I don't know how.
Me neither.
I don't know how, but because I was aware of the song, I guess, but I couldn't have told you the name of the song or who was it by, but once it started playing, wait a second, that sounds familiar. Then when he mentioned that Radiohead song, holy shit, he's right. Holy fuck. That just stunned me. So I do remember the Lana Del Rey thing though. So but yeah. But
look at Nirvana. The band, The Killing Joke. I think did a copyright suit against them for "Come As You Are," because the Killing Joke song '80s, the riff is the do 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 do, and the riff for "Come As You Are" sounds like that, but slower. Do 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 do. I'll probably play the song later, just
there's
just so I guess you can pick my point.
There are only so many chords in the fucking world. Shit.
I was gonna say, sampling music is not a new thing. That's been going on for a really long time.
Honestly,
I do it in my streams all the time.
Honestly, even though intellectual property is necessary, it's kind of bullshit because Jesus, you could take it to absurd extremes like that.
Honestly, the back half at the end is why my score was lowered to like an 8.5, because once everything with the prophet and then the caged women and all that, like everything in the back half of it, all the weirdness of it, like I still tracked on with it very, very well, but yeah, it just felt that was the stuff that was like, yeah, I don't know if this jives well with the first half with all the intellectual conversations, but I think it worked out fine enough. Like, because otherwise, like the first half of that, like everything before they get down into that cellar or whatnot, this was like maybe a 9.5. Like, I'm loving this. It's just it's very chilling.
Yeah, I think if they kept this movie a little bit more grounded, I think this honestly would have been I think this could have been a 10. But the whole like the stuff with the prophet and all the women in the cage, like, all right, this is starting. All right,
Yeah.
this is starting to become weird for the sake of being weird.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, this just like what the hell? It just becomes creepy. Creepy guy.
Like, honestly, like Hugh Grant is the glue that's keeping all this together. Not that I didn't like the two main chicks, but yeah.
I mean,
But I mean,
like
yeah,
I
like I
said,
said,
he's even easily the best part.
Yeah, exactly. He's the real star here. Like I said, I mean, shit.
I think that's why a lot of us really wanted to see this movie is because Hugh Grant as a villain.
I think he even escalates them a bit because they play off of him very, very well. Especially I love the conversations between he and Sophie Barnes. I thought those two really played off against each other very well. So I mean,
how did the
and Chloe East by the end? Chloe East by the end, I thought she kind of held her own.
How did she not die?
Was very predictable.
Yeah,
Who? Oh, because it was supposed to be. Look, it was supposed to be like a resurrection thing. She resurrected, then killed her, then killed him, and then died again. It's like, what the fuck is this?
No. The main chick who actually makes it out at the end, like she stabs him in the neck, and then later he stabs her, but she still makes it out. Like,
because one stab is not necessarily kill you, Zach. I mean, that's just, the thing is, you die slowly from being stabbed. One stab will not necessarily kill you. There are a lot of people who've been stabbed many times who are still walking around alive. So, I mean, shit.
It's not the stab that kills you; it's the blood loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's they wouldn't die from being stabbed. They would die from losing too much blood.
Yes,
I
sir.
guess people should stop. Well, then people should stop bitching about Scream 6. Then.
Never.
I'm just kidding.
I also love. I liked how Paxton was like secretly a comic book nerd. I love that. He's like, what? Who is that? Fucking Robert Frost? No, Swamp Thing. Fuck you.
That was gold.
I actually think that,
or at the beginning at the beginning where Hugh Grant was like, "With great power comes great responsibility." Spider-Man? No, it's I forgot who.
Voltaire.
Voltaire, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Joe, I fucking love Voltaire.
Okay.
call me predictable, but I thought the Star Wars reference was the funniest part.
Yeah, him trying to do the Jar Jar voice is gold.
I didn't know you were into French writing that much, Devin.
No, I thought they were talking about the musician Voltaire.
No. Mark is just like, the fuck? He's like, I'm a history teacher, and you think that? The fuck did I teach you, motherfucker?
Like, oh yeah, the guy that did the Brain song in Billy and Mandy. Oh yeah, I love that guy.
Fucking uncultured swine, Mark. Like, what the fuck?
I was gonna say, Mark, do you want to enlighten our friend here about Voltaire?
Oh my God. Voltaire was undoubtedly the greatest figure of the Enlightenment. Even at the fucking time, he was revered. I mean, Voltaire was a cynic. I mean, dear God, he was so cynical that unlike most of the rest of his philosoph friends, he was not an atheist. He was a deist, and as he actually built a temple to the unnamed God. And, it's another philosopher made a quip at the time. Another of the philosophers made a quip that it took 2,000 years of the Christian church, and it took Voltaire to build a temple to God, instead of Jesus, right? But Voltaire was known for his sharp and acerbic wit, and wrote a lot of very involved in a lot of social issues of the day. Took out a lot of causes, celeb, I guess you would say, wrote letters on behalf of accused and condemned men and women and whatever. So, and argued very strongly against censorship. Like he reputed to have said at one time, I may not agree with what you have to say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. There's no evidence he actually said that, but it does very much align with something he would have agreed with. So, yeah, he was big on free speech. So, we're in a lot of play.
This has been Top Marks with Mr. Thompson.
And his best work is Candide. Go read it. Very good.
Good. Yeah, that was a fail on my part.
I think this.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
I do want to say that I think this film will win Best Atmosphere in a horror film this year, but then I remembered we still got Nosferatu.
I mean, that's not even a category for the Oscars.
No, I'm just saying my favorite atmosphere that I've seen in any horror film.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Although I am curious, did you guys smell blueberry pie in your theaters?
No.
All I got was old lady perfume. And some guy who wafted past me, and it smelled like he hasn't taken a shower in a week, but then he coated himself in Axe as
honestly, my theater was, I mean, there were only a few, besides my brother and I, there were only a few other people in there. That's it. So it was.
Yeah, I expected.
It was hard. I mean, it was hard. There was hardly anyone there.
I was expecting a smaller crowd.
Yeah, I expected small. What was funny though, the two women next to me were old women, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a wild guess. You're here for one thing and one thing only, and that's Hugh Grant, and that's it. You're probably like, oh, Hugh Grant is in this movie, and then that's it. That's all the research they did.
I mean, when I went and saw Nora today, there were these two annoying old ladies behind me, and they were saying, "The hell this is all nudity. This isn't Cinderella." I'm just thinking,
marketed as Cinderella?
Not really. I mean, the main character. I mean, I'm going off topic here. She kind of has her own little Cinderella story, but it's not really. By the way, watching Nora is fantastic. But anyway, so I think there was only me. I think it was me and maybe 4 other people.
For me, it was I don't know, maybe half a dozen, maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, I thought I really liked how this was a very effective cat and mouse kind of thing, how it goes kind of back and forth, how each group, I should say, seemed to be in control at one point in the movie. It was constantly going back and forth, and I really appreciated that. And God, Hugh Grant was so fucking good in this. He was so fucking good. I shouldn't be a surprise, but it's as I said, considering that the most he's done in the past 30 years was fucking rom-coms and shit. It's oh yeah, Hugh Grant can actually act. Oh shit, yeah, forgot about that. Crazy. He wasn't in Titanic. What the fuck are you talking about?
Last year, mofo.
Was it Dragons?
Yeah, he's talking about before then. So he's talking about, he said recently he's been doing more films like that, more other types of films,
Yeah.
Shit.
Wonka.
He's in his villain phase now.
Oh yeah, Wonka.
Oh yeah, it
This
was.
is also recent. I mean, shit. He's talking. The rom-coms come from earlier. Most of his career, yes, he's been known for rom-coms.
Mainly the 90s and 2000s.
Exactly. Life began before you were here, Zach. Life went
Put some
on.
respect on Wonka's name.
No.
Fuck your Shamalama Ding Dong.
But Wonka's not in
I'm
the trouble one though.
I'm looking up a lot of.
My dad calls Timothy Chalamet Shalamala Ding Dong.
I don't know. I mean, the film just didn't work. After they got down to the basement, it's like The Prophet. It's like, what the hell was that? She wasn't scary. She wasn't creepy even. She was just kind of weird, unnecessary, and annoying to me. I mean, and pointless.
I think she was just kind of like a plot device. I think that was like kind of, I feel like the intention there. Like she was just like a use to like for his, you know, she wasn't really supposed to be like a major character.
I don't get how it even moved the plot. Yeah. Though, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I'll say this. This definitely would make up for Scott Beck and Brian Wood's directing reputation, because you know the movie that they made before this, 65.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What is that film?
I didn't even.
What? 65?
Adam Driver and the Dinosaurs.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Oh god. Oh
To
god.
review.
Fuck that. God damn it. No wonder I fucking didn't. God damn it. What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
Literally.
And I don't know. Maybe I read it wrong. But didn't they write like one of like the Quiet Place movies or something?
They
The
wrote
first one. The first one they wrote.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think that was that great. I thought.
Oh, by the way, honestly, the day one honestly got a bit worse for me on a rewatch. Now that we mention it,
What did?
Quiet Place Day One.
Oh, it got worse for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't hate it. Still, it's just the messiest and most sloppily paced film of the series.
Okay.
Plus,
Anyway,
Alrighty then.
let's. Can we go back to talking about the movie we're trying to review here, and not all the other fucking movies they've done?
We already did a review. We already did a review of a Quiet Place Day One.
No, I know. I'm talking about Heretic. Like, unless we have nothing more to add, but I was saying, like, I really liked how, you know, at first I was like, I'm like, okay, Control. I'm like, okay, I kind of agree with Mark there. It's kind of one-dimensional. But then I'm like, when I when I was like leaving the theater and thought about the movie as a whole, I was like, oh, so that's what they were going for. And like the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. Like how they were going for like, oh no, the way that Grant's character is supposed to be, Mr. Reed, was like this fucking, you know, guy who like is spewing bullshit in the hopes that he can like be on his soapbox, be on his pedestal, like a lot of these fucking like pompous ass atheists can be. And I really appreciate it because, like, yeah, it's easy to shit on religion. It's so easy to do. It's low hanging fruit at this point. It's like most religious themed movies that have like an anti-religious message kind of do that. Like, oh, did you know religion is bad? It's like, yeah, no fucking shit, Sherlock. Like, what else do you have to say? Oh, nothing? Then fuck off. But this one tore down both sides, and I really, really appreciated that. Like, it showed that it's like, just because you don't believe in religion doesn't mean you're automatically like better than everyone else. It's like, oh, I don't believe in this religious thing. It's like, cool, do you have anything to add? No, then it seems like both of your brain cells are fighting for third place, so please shut it and let the adults talk. So that's what I really appreciated about that. What's up?
I am better.
Yes, we know, Mark.
Yes, exactly. Except me. Does make me better.
Mark supremacy.
Yeah. Anyway, but I really appreciate that, and I liked how, again, the control of the situation was really good. I love the house too. I forgot to mention that. I love the trap house. You know how it was like perfectly designed. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like this definitely couldn't have been an actual house. Like, it had to have been like multiple sets because way.
I've honestly never heard of a house where the front door automatically locks at a specific time. You know?
Well, he was probably lying. I mean, he had like a special lock.
Well, I was just, I mean, you know what I meant, like where, yeah.
I mean, he was lying. You saw him reset the door. I mean, when he needed to open again. I mean, shit. He just had to reset it. Shit.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, I haven't seen like, it's like right underneath the light switch, kind of thing.
A light switch. Yeah, it's like, I was questioning that. Like, I didn't mind like Topher Grace being in this movie, but I really was like, well, why are you in this movie? That was like the major thing. Like, I appreciate it. I love Topher Grace. I think he's very underrated. It like Black Klansman showed that he was
gotta make up for Spider-Man 3 somehow.
He's more than made up for Spider-Man 3 at this point. Saying he needs to make up for Spider-Man 3 is like saying Robert Pattinson still needs to make up for Twilight. It's like the man has done so and then some. Like, I know, but it's like it's been forever. It's been over 10 years. He's had his dues, and it's just like it's like the most it kind of felt like if like did Topher Grace like owe the director something, or did they owe him something? It's like that's I don't know. I just felt like that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
When you said, John, at first when you said like a light switch, I thought you were making another Book of Mormon reference. Like that.
No, I was referencing
like the light switch just go click. It's our neat little Mormon trick. Turn it off.
I totally meant that.
Wait a minute, that was you on the phone and you on the bus. Then who was flickering the lights?
Nosferatu.
Also, I didn't know if you guys noticed, but yeah, Sophie Thatcher, like the Sister Barnes. I was like, I didn't realize until like the very end of Maxine. She was in that movie. She was like one of the FX artists.
Was.
And I was like, oh,
she
yeah.
Was?
Yeah, no, yeah. She had like a small cameo in that movie. And I noticed that during Maxine because I had seen the trailer for Heretic. I'm like, that's a chick that's going to be in Heretic. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So she was in 2 great horror movies this year. And yes, I think Maxine is great. Fuck off.
What film was she in?
Maxine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She was in Maxine. Yeah, that's right.
I think we all love Maxine.
Is awesome.
Yeah. I love Maxine.
Because here's the thing. To me, it's like the least of the 3, but to say that it's the least of the 3 out of 3 incredible films is not an insult.
It's like saying
it's weakest of the 3, but it's still good.
It's like saying Return of the Jedi is least of 3. Return of the Jedi is still,
or like 2 Towers is the least of Lord of the Rings. It's like
exactly.
That's Lord of the fucking Rings. Like, come
seriously, it's still fucking goated.
It is.
Watch the Battle of Helm's Deep. Tell me that shit is a fucking goated.
Yeah, I just think a lot of 2 Towers is personally just like Helm's Deep is the thing, and then everything else is kind of like Sauron. Helm's Deep, everything else can, I wouldn't say fuck off, but like I was just not incredibly interested. It's just like
I don't know,
Fellowship had a lot of great setup, and then Return of the King had a lot of great payoff. 2 Towers I felt kind of mean. It's not a bad movie. Okay, Devin, don't Phantom Zone me, please. But like
Phantom Zone him.
I'm saying 2 Towers as I was like, okay, I'll say this. Like, if Fellowship is a 10, I think it's a 10. Like, in terms of how well made it is. Return of the King is a 10. I would say 2 Towers is maybe an 8.5 or a 9.
I'm not going to Phantom Zone him because I agree with him.
You're both wrong.
And here's the thing.
Treebeard supremacy.
This might
That's
be
fair.
Phantom Zone,
That's fair.
but
Treebeard supremacy.
out of all 6, but actually, Out of all 6 Middle Earth films,
If you say a Hobbit film, I'm going to come to Oregon and stab you in the throat.
Watch what you say, boy.
If you continue that sentence with Five Armies, Desolation, or Unexpected Journey, I will fucking cut off your head and throat fuck.
I fucking fell asleep on that film on fucking purpose.
Let Zach say his piece.
Why?
Go on, sir.
out of all 6 Middle Earth films, Two Towers might be my least favorite.
Fucking hit him! Oh my god! Oh,
what did he say?
So Two Towers is his least favorite.
Out of plus 6 Hobbit movies, he said Two Towers is the least favorite.
Okay, you just provoked me.
Get the fuck off my stage, you pussy!
Well,
the fucking Hobbit movies are not worth the shit that Two Towers leaves in the toilet. Are you kidding me right now?
I was going to say,
of all the genealogies, this is probably the worst one.
Okay, let's not get crazy.
Well, I mean, I was going to say we'll talk plenty more about Lord of the Rings stuff when we do.
Yes, Lord of the Rings, the anime. Because how do you do, fellow kids? We need the money since Rings of Power is a failure. Let's do the anime. Hello, kids.
So, do we have anything? Do we have anything else we want to say about Heretic?
Go watch it. It's great.
Go check it out.
God damn it.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need to bring Zach back because he's gonna be announcing the next review.
Bart, did you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say that I was going to talk about Two Towers, so never mind.
Let's save that for next time.
All right, Zach, what's our next review?
My most anticipated film for the holiday season, Red One, motherfuckers. I'm sorry, I think that movie looks fun as hell.
Even though a Christmas movie before Thanksgiving.
Rob trying to bite his tongue, and Devin trying to bite his tongue so badly that it's starting to bleed.
A Christmas
You're
movie
more excited for this than Nosferatu?
Nosferatu and Sonic. Hell, I'm more excited for fucking
Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 2. Well, okay.
I'm excited for all of them.
Even then.
Yeah, Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gladiator 2. It's already getting fucking Oscar buzz. What the fuck?
I mean, when you make an Oscar-winning film again, the same movie again, yeah, of course it's going to get Oscar buzz.
It's not the same movie. I mean, shit.
But we're reviewing a Christmas movie in November.
Because
I guess consider that our Christmas special. I don't know. I don't even know if we're reviewing anything Christmas related in December.
I don't know. Vampires can be Christmas. I mean, okay, think about it like this. Nosferatu and the vampiric legend is based around anti-Semitism, so that correlates with Catholicism, which is Christmas related. See? It works.
I don't know why, but I'll watch vampire related stuff on Easter. I don't know.
Because they can come back to life.
Am I the only one? I guess I'm the only one here. I just don't like the idea of Christmas movies before Thanksgiving. I have a strict no.
No, I agree with you, Mark. I
absolutely agree.
But I'm curious about this movie, and I can't exactly change the release date, and I kind of want to do a review of it.
I know that's fine. I'm just saying I'm not happy about it.
Same. I mean, neither am I. I'm
not even curious about it. I don't know why you're curious about it because it looks like.
I wouldn't say curious. It just looks stupid and fun.
It looks fun. It looks fun.
It just looks stupid.
I mean, no one's forcing you to watch it.
Oh well, I mean, we're doing a fucking review on it for crying out loud. Shit.
Anyway,
alrighty.
That's what we're doing next, ladies and gents, and anything in between.
All right, that is our review of Heretic. Give it a watch. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Support your local theaters. And always remember, All I need is the air that I breathe and to love you.
Once again, we have brought light into the world. You're welcome, America.